So after the last 2 weeks of controversy, we've seen a 2% decline in ticket prices going into Week 5 of the NFL season compared to Week 5 last year. Data from Ticket IQ showed ticket prices had seen 20 to 40% increases in the first 3 weeks of the season. But after the president's comments and NFL player reactions, Week 4 saw only a 5% increase, and now we're seeing an outright decline. So that's a bad direction. We reached out to Vivid Seats, StubHub, SeatGeek, and Ticketmaster, but none of them would share specific numbers. The NFL would only tell us that ticket sales are trending similar to last year. Obviously, more factors affect ticket prices than just the Anthem protests. Game matchups, weather, and big-time teams doing worse this year, like the Giants, are just some of those items. Meanwhile, more bad PR. Cam Newton, the former Heisman and MVP winner, made disparaging comments Wednesday to a female reporter. Yesterday, yogurt company Dannon dropped Newton, saying it's not okay to belittle anyone based on gender. And late last night, Newton put out an apology video on Twitter. He still has several other deals for now with Gatorade, Under Armour, and Beats by Dre, just some of them. Forbes said he was the second highest paid NFL player last year. So between the protests, soft TV ratings, and now this, it's not been the best couple of weeks for the NFL.
Erica, so did you see it earlier today? It said loyal fans, 30% say they're watching
the
less.
Seton Hall poll. Yeah.
30%, well, Seton Hall poll.
Yep.
That's who did it. 30% are watching less. 51% say it's due to the kneeling.
Which is interesting, because only 1% of them said it was from the concussion. So I thought that would have been a much closer ratio, but it's not.
No, but all of last year, if you watched ESPN, nobody tied any of the weakness to, but then you talk to fans and they talk about Kaepernick, but no one tied any of the beginning of the weakness until it came to a head with Trump's comments. But now, suddenly people are saying this may be having an effect, but it was having an effect last year.
It's interesting. It reminds me of the whole thing with Trump and Clinton going into the election, where people wanted to discount the effect of, oh, well, this isn't really going to happen. And then when it actually came to results day, you saw what happened. So I think in a way you're seeing that same demographic, who may not get picked up in a lot of data, normally speaking, is now making it happen with tickets and ratings.
I see the ratings on the nationwide. Do the local markets, do we know whether there's any year-over-year drop-off in local markets for teams?
But
do they measure that?
The way they do those games is that regional coverage on CBS and Fox. So
it is included in the number.
So some of those time slots have actually been up. So like the CBS regional, the Fox regional, then the single game. So they average all those out when they say, oh, it's down 4% or it's down 8%. But some of those slots are up, but some of that's matchup dependent too.
So do we take anything from the notion that there were 200 participants in not standing, and now there's like 6 or something?
Well, the owners, there was a story saying how the owners did not want to go up against the White House. They thought that was bad for business. So you saw owners like
Martha Ford. Well, they thought about that too late. They went up against Bob Kraft. Immediately said he was deeply disappointed, and then I think some of the calls started coming in to their offices, and then they got less inclined to go up against the White House. They were ready to. They were ready to go with the union and their players.
It's tricky employee management. How do you keep the White House happy and keep your players happy and the fans happy?
You got to keep the fans. How many players you got? You got millions of fans that are going to vote with their feet. Right? Those are your true constituents, not your players.
You need the players to come.
Players to play. Right? Well, you need the talent to perform.
Those guys can play all they want. If no one's in the stands and no one's watching at home, they're going to be playing for themselves.
That's true, too.
Or they'll make $2 million instead of $4 million.
Yeah. Complicated dance.
Exactly. Where are those big paychecks coming from? They're coming from...
They're coming from us.
I don't know. And Goodell, I don't understand. If you have every game, you have one of those big flags covering the entire field, and then you have a flyover... I mean, why you either wrap yourself in patriotism or you don't.
Well, the problem becomes free speech, and you also have fans who are in the seats who you're alienating by the entire situation being politicized.
It's a job.
They've been hoping it would go back down.
We don't have free speech in our job. I can go out after I get off today and I can go demonstrate somewhere, but I'm not necessarily allowed to demonstrate my personal cause. And with NBC, might not say, "God, Joe, that's great."
I know
you do every day. What are you talking about?
No, I don't.
Every day.
If I ever really let it hang out, you'll be.
Wow.
I don't know. during your job, I don't know whether you have the right to.
The problem is the situation got politicized. We talked with Dan Gilbert about it. The owners would like to see this just get pushed under the rug and go away. We want everybody to be here. We don't want to have to take sides because you're going to alienate somebody when you take sides.
With the benefit of hindsight, Adam Silver did exactly
the right. He approached it right. But by the way, he also had the benefit of hindsight.
The benefit of hindsight.
Right.
I agree.
Watching it fall apart in another league.
Wasn't live in motion for him. And so he's finding these alternative outlets. But by the way, there will be alternative outlets for a lot of these basketball players to try to express their views, and they're making those available to them.
Right, that's fine.
But by the way, that may have its own ramifications. I mean, all of this, whether it's the physical taking of the knee or whether it's being just outspoken on some of these political issues, it's going to get complicated. It is.
Look, we're learning that everything is politics right now, and it's the time you live in.
You never hear somebody say, "I'm glad I got involved mixing business and politics. That turned out really well for me."
Right.
So, DirecTV's giving out refunds. That was a big time step. They said if you're so offended, you can get your whole season money back.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.